Peace. Peace is not the absence of challenges. Peace is not when everything goes the way that we think it should. Peace is not an award, and it isn't given to those who work the hardest or do as they are told to do. Peace is within us. It is a choice to not let the challenges, the difficulties, the broken promises and dreams get us down. It is a commitment to serenity against all odds.
Welcome to Guided by Love, the podcast. I'm Nick Place, the producer and host of this show. On today's episode, Reverend Rebecca M. Bryan and I will discuss her sermon, Expectations and Promise of Peace, which you just heard the beginning of. It was delivered on Christmas Eve, 2022. Reverend Rebecca, tell me about peace. What does it feel like?
Gosh, Nick. First I just want to say I don't claim to know what it feels like for anyone else. I have to believe that though there may be similarities, that each of us has our own experience and contact with peace. So for me, peace is a settling. It's a settling into my heart. It's a settling into the place within me that actually knows that all is well, even if it's just for a moment. And often it is contrary to what may be going on around us. It's not that all is well necessarily in the world around us, but that it's within us. There's this place in us all where we have that sense, that knowing, where we can settle. Another thing I'd say about peace for me is that it's definitely softer and more interior, and it is always warm. So it moves more slowly, it's warm for me, and it is a settled place within my heart.
What are some ways we can find peace within ourselves in a world many of us are experiencing as being filled with contradictions and chaos?
For me, one of the most important things is that I slow down. I can be a doer. I can be things come quickly to me generally. I get excited. I love life. I love people. I'm fortunate that, again, often things just sort of come, whether it's knowing the next right action but that doesn't mean I'm always at peace. And I've had to really practice slowing down and trusting that in so doing, and literally stopping sometimes, right? Stopping whatever else it is I'm doing, or stopping before sending the email, or stopping my mind, that if I sit, it will come. That peace will come. Sometimes I need to go through some adjustments, like I can feel at first sort of irritated or agitated. Why am I stopping? There's so much to do. Or sometimes there's an emotion. I might have tears. And then it's there. Peace is there. So that's for me, slowing. I think we hear a lot about the importance of being within and with our own selves and the divine, however you understand that. Certainly for a lot of people that's nature, music. It can be any also, I think, of our senses, that it's a lot about being embodied. That peace, certainly as I understand it and experience it, is not something that is a friend of the mind often. So it could be, your sense, like the scent of, well, we're coming into holiday seasons, right? Is it a favorite aroma of a particular pie? Or for me, I know mulled cider. If I walk into a kitchen and I smell cider, so our sense can do that. And other senses, touch, like certain fabrics for me, or even weights of things can be very much bring me into a state of peace. So I think using our senses, hearing, seeing, smelling, touching, all those things. Do you think Mary expected to give birth in a stable? I bet she expected a Hilton. After all, she and Joseph were doing as they were told were right. They were paying their taxes, following their lineage as people of King David. I imagine they were hungry, tired, and scared. How could they not have been? For in addition to doing what they were expected to do, they were also breaking all kinds of cultural norms. Unmarried, expecting a child. Imagine the judgments. Have you ever done what was expected of you, played by the rules, treated people right, paid your dues, and found that life did not reward you as expected? I know I have. And did that lack of reward bring you down, lead you to resentment or fear? Did it rob you of your peace? Did you expect a Hilton and find yourself at a stable? And if so, have you realized yet that the promised gifts of playing by the rules, being who people tell you to be and following a script that is not your authentic expression, never lead to peace?
I've found through my many years of training in music, there was a time during my most intense training that I had to live up to others' expectations. And it was sometimes very stressful, them wanting perfection and an incredibly high level of performance. But I'm now realizing, and it's still a journey, that if I let their voice go from my mind, I express myself through music more successfully and artistically than I ever have. Is this a form of peace?
Yes, it sure is. It makes me smile because, Nick, your music is gorgeous. And it makes me, I feel sad thinking that anyone else's, blueprints being put on you would cause you to express it any differently than you do. And so, yes, for me, peace really is being authentically who we are. I think people can get confused and think, peace is when I'll have nothing to do, or peace is when everything is done off my to-do list. And kind of what you're saying, Nick, I know for me, for example, when I'm doing what is authentically mine to do, when I'm living a life that is authentically mine, that can look different day by day, by the way, it really is peaceful and a joy. Even if it's hard work, even if I'm tired, even if it demands physical things, but we can be doing the most quote-unquote fun or peaceful thing, and if it's not who we are, it doesn't lead us there, right? So yes, that's peace. And I think it's a lot about being able and willing and hopefully having enough mentors and friends and caring people around us who say, I see you. I see you, and I want that for you and for the world. The promise of peace lies within us. No one and no circumstances have the power to rob us of that. And if anyone or anything taught you differently, I am sorry. But there is time. There is always time. It is our choice to choose peace, to focus on the stillness and rest in that place of goodness that is within us, even when our expectations are not met, even when things are hard, especially when things are hard. Peace, my friends, is an unearned gift. It is an adornment, a friend that can accompany us throughout our lives. Peace is one of those surprising guests that shows up in the darkest and most vulnerable of hours, when someone is aging or dying or when we are afraid.
When you are struggling to sustain or even find again your inner peace, is there a place you go, either physical or spiritual, to find it? Is peace always hiding somewhere, waiting for us to find it?
What a great question. What a great line. Is peace always hiding somewhere, waiting for us to find it? I believe yes, because I believe that peace is inherently a part of who we are. I believe it is a gift that is a part of who we are, that's meant to be shared, that's also meant to be experienced. It's like, the sun. It's like all of life. I really believe, yes, it's there. And when you ask the question of where do I go within myself. And sometimes, in the oddest of circumstances, I'm remembering, for example, I think my mother lived another maybe 2 nights after the night I'm describing. It was near Christmas, and I had gone down to see her. She was in hospice, but she was in her townhouse, and I gave her husband a spell, and he went in to rest in their bed. She was in a hospital bed in the living room, and I was sitting on the couch next to her, listening to her breathing in the way a person does in their final days. And all of a sudden, the most amazing peace came over me. And I just knew there was nowhere in the world I would rather be. And it's illogical, right? That's not, but it was where I was meant to be exactly in that moment. And it's always there. Peace is always there. Yeah. Peace comes often not in the ways we expect it, but rather in surprising, unexpected places and conditions, if we are open, if we are willing to enter in. Oscar Sanchez said this: "Peace is not a matter of prizes or trophies. It is not the product of a victory or a command. It has no finishing line, no final deadline, no fixed definition of achievement. Peace is a way of life. It is a choice. It is strong, and it is enduring. This, I promise you. Take peace."
Thank you for joining us on Guided by Love, the podcast. The next episode will air in 2 weeks on Monday, December 15th. We look forward to continuing this journey with you. Please make sure to follow and subscribe to Guided by Love on your favorite podcast app. If you'd like more information about First Religious Society Unitarian Universalist in Newburyport, Massachusetts, please visit frsuu.org. That's frsuu.org. If you're looking for holiday gift ideas, you can purchase a copy of Guided by Love by visiting your local bookstore and requesting a copy, or visiting your favorite online bookshop. This episode is a production of FRSUU Newburyport and was edited by me, Nick Place. Thank you as always to Reverend Rebecca M. Bryan for sharing her thoughts and sermons with all of us. See you next time on Guided by Love, the podcast, and until then, be kind to yourself, live in peace, and return again in great joy.